Welcome to the Care Sis podcast with me, Ki, and Kiki.
Join two friends for a conversation around self-care in real life. We'll talk about anything on the spectrum from bubble baths to setting boundaries to managing friendships and more.
As your sisters, we also just want to provide a weekly check-in. You know, like big sis asking little sis, sis, you good? So come on in, sis. Let's talk about how we can take better care of ourselves. What's up, Kiki?
Hey, Ki.
You are very low energy today.
Oh,
what can we do? What can we do? What can we do?
I'm out of energy, honey. It ain't coming back. It's too late. I'm out of energy. I've been trying to record stuff all day, and the perfectionist in me is not happy. And I'm probably going to scrap all my content and start over again. Because I haven't been doing this in a while, and it ain't turning out the way I wanted it to.
I'm sorry. That is very frustrating when you just know what you want to do and you know what you want to say and you can't make it say and do the thing. I get it. I'm sorry. All right. Well, let me get some juice in. Since I'm going to have to be the light in this episode.
I didn't say I wasn't going to be a light. I'm just not going to be, I don't know.
It's okay, Maria. It's okay. So, how was your week, though?
What did I do this week? Nothing.
It's the week after Thanksgiving. For me, it's always a weird week because it's like, especially working for the nonprofits sector that I work in, like we shut down at the end of the year. So coming back from Thanksgiving, I already know that I only have about 2, maybe 3 good weeks of work left. So, you know, I'm trying to make it work, or I'm trying to make myself work. However, I got sick this week. So I was sick all week, laying on the couch. It was, yep. Congested, annoyed.
I'm sorry. I'm glad you're better, though.
Yeah. I almost sound like a human, and, you know, my nose is only slightly runny. Excuse me. So I'm not restricted to just hot drinks. So I found
some juice.
My sparkling water.
Well, enjoy your sparkling water. I did put in the rest of my PTO this week because
praise the Lord.
Mine doesn't roll over, so I don't have the luxury of being able to take it to next year. So literally December, I'm probably working 12 days.
We almost like had a fight at my job because our PTO, so many hours roll over per month. But then we got this wonderful message that said it won't roll over into next year. And we're like, how it roll over every month, but don't roll over every year?
Right.
So pretty much same. Whereas I think we stopped working the 20th, the 21st, whatever that Monday is. We don't go in from there. But so everybody can get their PTO and their vacation. Ain't nobody in the office for like the next 3 weeks. Like if we have, I think people will be there on Wednesdays because that's our team meeting day. Other than that, it's about to be, I have a tough week this week though, because we have a work retreat.
You sound so excited.
It's not fun for me because typically like we live all over the state in my job, and you know people get to come into Raleigh and they get to stay at the hotel, and that I don't get none of that. I just get to take my black ass to the office. Yay! And I got to be there at 8:30 in the morning.
I be like, y'all book me a hotel too, downtown, wherever my job is. Book me one down here. Thank you.
Only thing is, if I go there, I'm not gonna hang out with them anyway, so it won't matter. Not when I see them all day. I'm gonna come in that hotel room and.
Understood, because we got our Christmas dinner this in a week.
Mm-hmm.
That's my one time to go and be friendly.
We have our
tell them any of my business, because that's what they be trying to do.
Yeah. We have ours Friday. By the way, here's my tree.
Is it up?
Huh?
Is it up?
It's in the box, right?
Oh.
The door, and that's the box. That's as far as we've gotten. I really I want to put it up, but I also want to wake up one morning and it's put together and put up already.
Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be so nice? The only thing between me and my Christmas tree is me finishing these videos. That didn't finish today.
Well, the good news is you're only working 12 days in December, so if you don't go work,
I need to do it before. I want to at least have my tree up 2 weeks before Christmas. I usually keep it up after Christmas too, but I kind of want it up a little bit before.
Exactly. You don't keep it up after Christmas, so it's fine. It's fine.
You're right. I'm gonna get there, but I gotta
23rd is the same as the 13th.
My mama, her poor self, she was like, I don't want to decorate the tree. I was like, Mom, you gotta do something, put something, because she keeps her tree up year round. She just changes it during the seasons. And I said, okay, just put some bulbs up there. So she'll text me and be like, oh, I put 4 bulbs on the tree. Aren't you?
Okay.
Aren't you proud of me? And I'm like, yes. And then she'll say, I took my stuffed animals out and I put them on the chair. Aren't you proud of me? And I'm like, yes. Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Wait. The stuffed animals are eventually going to get to the tree, right?
Well, she sat them in the chair. She has them in a chair. It's like a family of 4 bears, Christmas bears. So I don't know if they're going to make it to the tree, because their tree is right by the fireplace, and my stepdad likes to fire it up. So she's trying not to keep a lot of stuff over there.
Understood. We want to keep a house.
Yeah.
For this holiday season. All right, y'all. So last week, we had our first off Mind Your Business episode talking about the holidays and, having conversations with and about family. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we appreciate the dialogue that we had on Instagram. That was cool. The diagram we had on social media. So thank you for your comments. This week, let's get into this vulgar culture. Kiki, can I, or am I asking too much today?
Oh, you asking me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. For the culture. I'll let you dance. I ain't got no energy. For the culture, we gonna get into some topics.
I felt like it needed that extra 4 count. All right. Kiki hit on our first topic for the culture. Take your PTO. Mm-hmm. Take it. Listen, these jobs, I get it. There's reports and quotas and stuff at the end of the year, but you know what still has to be there at the beginning of the year? You.
Right.
You. So make yourself a priority. Take one day where you really just bust your butt and get all the reports and all the stuff done. And then for the rest of December, be sick. You got that much leave. I know you do.
That's going to be me this week, honestly. Because, I'm an accountant. Our stuff is at the beginning of the month. We be trying to reconcile shit from last month. And the first 2 weeks of the month are like hell. And then, the rest of the month is kind of like, you finish up other projects that you already had out. That's what I'm trying to do this week. Mm-hmm. The only reason I had 8 days left is because I didn't take a formal vacation this summer.
Yeah. Same.
Not that was intentional, but that was around the time, usually around the time when, I think it was August, when my grandma died. That's around the time I take vacation. And this year it kind of got sidetracked because of that. So my coworkers were like, "You didn't take a vacation yet?" And I was like, "No." I said, "I'm just gonna use it all in December, so y'all barely gonna see me this month. Barely."
I have to be at work this week, but I have a long weekend every weekend for the rest of the month, or for the rest of it. This actually started in November. I had a long weekend every week to try to use some of those days. And then, like, I'm mostly going to be in office because the people that answer to me, I had to let them take off. But I'm going to be there. I'm going to be logged on my computer. By the way, from now on, we have to make sure that we make the disclaimer that none of these views are reflected by any of our sponsors or our employers. These just our views.
Girl, that ain't gonna stop nothing. I don't know.
People that know me in real life to listen to this podcast know that I love my job. For real. I just don't like stupid stuff.
I mean, that's all of us.
Actually, some people really don't like their job, but I really like my job. I just really hate dumb stuff. All right, so the next thing, I'm going to a less lively place. Have y'all seen Robo-cop? Y'all remember Robo-cop from the 80s? You remember?
Barely.
You don't remember.
No.
Anyway, Robo-cop was about these robots that were on the police force in, I believe, LA. And this was in the 80s. And it went bad.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to 2022, the San Francisco, just down the street from LA, the San Francisco Police Department, in real life, this isn't a movie, the San Francisco Police Department got a green light to use robotic dogs in a situation where basically it would be too dangerous for police to enter. This becomes problematic because the San Francisco Police Department is known for being an aggressive police department. They use too much damn force most times. Now they're going to get dogs to do it for them.
Like, really?
How many ways could this go wrong, y'all? Who gave this green light? These are things that I need to know. This could go wrong in so many ways. I can't even.
I mean, we talked about this before, right? Because every robot movie, RoboCop, iRobot, every freaking robot movie, always the plot is always the robots have now lost their damn mind, and they are going to kill us now, even though we created them. So, I mean, we hoping for the best, but I mean, this is on a police force, and we already don't trust the police half the time. But so, I don't know.
And what makes it worse is y'all are using police dogs, right? Let's go ahead and call a spade a spade. Historically, people of color are scared of dogs that are not their own. So y'all gonna already use a divisive animal technique, method. We'll go with method. You're gonna already use a divisive method for a divisive situation. I gotta go forward. I can't.
No, you're right. Which I didn't think about that because I'm not scared of dogs, but I know a lot of people in my family who are terrified of dogs. Terrified. So they would even come to our house and just be like, you're gonna have to put him up. We can't do it.
I was with a friend last night. We went to another friend's house. First friend has a dog. Has a dog. her dog is a geriatric dog, but she has a dog nonetheless. We go to second friend's house that has a dog, and she's like, y'all know I'm scared of dogs.
Huh?
You have a dog, friend. I'm gonna let her and Jesus work that out. But anyway, that's where we are. That's where we are. So the Black world, Black Twitter, Black social media, whatever. Earlier in the week, we were dealing with more Kyrie and Kanye mess. Kanye has definitely this time just, I don't know. There's still some people. I have a friend who's a diehard Kanye fan, and he was like, "You can't believe what everything is put out." So does that mean and believe Kanye's when he says the things, or don't believe him when he says the thing? I'm so confused. But anyway, Kanye then came out. He got kicked off Twitter. You know, the space where people were supposed to be able to have free speech. He got kicked off Twitter for he posted an image. Supposedly, this has been a tweet since removed, but allegedly he posted a picture that had a Star of David with a swastika in the middle. Why do you keep going in on the Jewish community? Why? At this point, they deserve to kick your butt. I'm just saying. So, like, there's nothing left for them to do but to fight you, literally. I'm not trying to incite no violence or nothing, but I am saying, what's the graph? Fuck around and find out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So he posted that. He got his warning. They were like, you need to chill out. This is too much. And so he was like, so then he posts allegedly posts a picture of what's the crybaby that owns Twitter now?
Elon.
Kim. Supposedly posted this picture of him being hosed down with water or something like that. So Elon went ahead and was like, all right, I'm taking your privileges. So Kanye said, all right, before I go, remember, this is my last tweet. And he posted this picture of Chris Paul and said, I caught this man in bed with Kim. Why, Kanye? Why? That's what him did. And all of this was because he had been on yet another interviewing platform with yet another white supremacist. This is twice, 2 in the same week, because first he was with the guy that likes to use the N-word a lot. I can't remember his name, and I refuse to put it to memory, but that guy. Then he was on another white supremacist platform, and that's when he was talking about, he said, Hitler and the Jews, they had dope clothes, and Hitler's done some great things, and I'm supposed to say he's a bad guy? No, I fucks with Hitler.
I have no energy to give to Kanye.
Like who you want to like, bro. Didn't nobody need to hear that.
Right.
And then he did the whole interview covered up. He's just weird. So as soon as we get that down, you know, as soon as it just passes the throat, it's not even down the esophagus and then the stomach yet, but as soon as we get that done, Black Twitter was upset because Deion Sanders, first there were like leaks all week, which was slightly tacky, but finally he came out yesterday after the game, and I believe it might have been Jackson State's last regular season game. He came out and said that he was going to be leaving to go to Colorado. I don't know, is it state or university, but he's going to Colorado to coach, and all of the Black community is mad. Well, not all of us. Half of the Black community is mad.
Please explain to me this whole HBCU thing, because I keep seeing it and I don't know what's going on. Like, people are like, well, people are in the conversation that didn't go to HBCUs and they don't understand. I don't know what's going on. I'm so clueless right now. This is why I didn't have anything on the photo culture, because I really wasn't paying attention.
He was getting that challenge together. I get it, sis. Yeah. I get it. So Deion Sanders, 2, maybe 3 years ago, a little before that, he wanted to coach. Right. And everywhere he went, they were saying no. And Deion Sanders, if you know him, he's very cocky. very cocky. Now, he's had an amazing football career. He was an amazing athlete.
Right.
And then as soon as he retired from football, I don't know if people followed his life as much as I do. But I liked him because he married Pebbles. And Pebbles, you know, was a singer from the 80s. Yeah. But anyway, so after playing football, when he retired, he then began to coach his boys' teams. So he opened up a school. He started coaching. They had their own little version of AAU because he had whole tournaments and all that other stuff. He did so well there. He felt that needed to transform into college athletics. Anyway, it's Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders, he's that guy. If he puts his mind to it, he's going to make sure it's done. So the next thing on his agenda was to be a college coach. Well, constantly people were telling him, no, you don't have any experience, which is true. He didn't have any major coaching experience. He coached his kids in his academy. Anyway, finally, Jackson State takes a chance on him. Jackson State being an HBCU in Mississippi. They take a chance on him. So he gets the 1 year, he's doing good. I believe he's only been there 2 years. So he does good the 1 year, he does good. But now he's starting to get like major recruits because he's Deion Sanders. Mm-hmm. And so throughout his career at Jackson State, he's used a lot of his contacts and his leverage and even his own money to kind of pour into the program. Jackson State being an HBCU, HBCUs are traditionally not as well funded as your PWIs, especially your Division I PWIs. And I think that we need to pin that, right? Mm-hmm. Because people keep comparing, like I was having a conversation with a friend and they were like, look at the Jackson State weight room. If you've seen weight rooms, like this particular person that I was talking to, we've both seen the UNC weight room. That's a whole different level, okay? Because Carolina is not just a PWI, it's a Division I PWI. And so there's tons of money that goes into that program. Way more than, say, even UNC Charlotte. Do they have football? Yes, they do. They do have. So it's a Division I. It's way up here. Mm-hmm. Jackson State is not, and then it's all your conferences too. Jackson State is, go on, take my black card, y'all, but I really only know the HBCUs that are on the East Coast, between like Maryland and South Carolina. That's it. That's where my knowledge, if you go take me past Tennessee, and I don't know where it is.
I mean, same. I can't take your black card.
Okay. So anyway, I don't know the conferences. I know the MEAC because that's where like my brother who went to Morgan, my brother who went to A&T, and Fayetteville State. I think they're all in the MEAC. So that's the conference I'm most familiar with as far as HBCUs are concerned. But Carolina is in one of the top of the Division I's, right? So if you're comparing it to that, that's not even fair. That's not even fair. But I say all that to say, HBCUs are traditionally underfunded, period. Mm-hmm. Hell, being an HBCU, that's part of the classification, is that you're historically underfunded as a university. And where that funds come from, that typically means alumni giving back, endowments, stuff like that. That's not state funds. That's not tuition. That's the funding that just comes into the school regardless. And HBCUs are underfunded, period. Okay. So if the university as a whole is underfunded, then you damn sure better believe that the athletics is underfunded. Mm-hmm. Athletics programs tend to take money from the school until they can get good enough where they're getting sponsorships and playing time on ESPN and all that other stuff. But until that happens, an athletic program for a school is usually just a money pit, right? And so that means unless you're a Division I school, all of these little schools around here, their athletic departments are struggling, including HBCUs. But what happened, what Deion did, he was able to bring in, so first of all, he took part of his own salary, which was only like $200,000, which is very it's typical. He took like 200,000 K. He took some of his salary to fund the program, to upgrade the weight room, uniforms, all that other stuff. And then, utilize the leverage that he had made to help get like sponsorships and to help get the playing time. So it was a big deal when Jackson State was on primetime college football this year. They did like a game or two last year, but this year they were in some primetime slots. So that's what he did. So he put HBCU athletics on the map because he is very pro-Black athlete, pro-Black football player, and saying, look, you guys are going to these white schools because there was this big controversy between him and Nick Saban, the guy from Alabama, the coach from Alabama. And because there was one particular recruit, don't ask me his name, there was one particular recruit that was trying to go in between Alabama, and then Deion got a hold of him, and I actually think he went to Jackson State. And he was like, listen, while he's going to get the name if he goes to Alabama, he's going to actually get the playing time and the skills from me. That's what he did for HBCU athletics. So the argument becomes, you got people over here for the culture, just like, oh, Deion's selling out for the culture. He shouldn't be leaving. He should come. He should stay at the HBCU and continue to do what he's done. And then you got the rest of us over here is just like, this man has the opportunity to go to Colorado. His salary is going to triple. And y'all want to hold that man back for what now?
I've seen both of those arguments. I just didn't know why. I don't know. I'm with you. Like, ain't we all seeking more money and more opportunities? Bigger opportunities.
I both sides. Like, I understand that for the culture, people want him to stay because HBCUs are all the buzz now, and everybody's like recognizing HBCU. So why can't his whole argument is our guys our athletes need to be respected equally as PWI students. That was more or less his argument, right? But what happens now is now that he's a Black coach, a Black head coach of a white program, he can actually do the things that need to be done to properly recruit more Black athletes. I guess my concern is, what is he really going to do when he gets in there? Because the coaches don't always make the decisions. The difference in the carte blanche he had at Jackson State was the fact that he's Deion Sanders, and Jackson State needed somebody. But at some of these bigger schools, the athletic director actually runs the teams. And so the athletic director is the one who determines how many scholarships, what scholarships, and who gets them, and who plays on the team. So I don't know what kind of control he's going to have at Colorado. So good luck to him. I'm glad that he's getting the leg up. I hope that he continues to advocate for Black athletes. And that's all I got. That's all there's to say. Last but not least, I had heard that going to Home Depot and you just start tinkering with stuff and out come the men. So if y'all find me in Home Depot during my Christmas break.
They talking about the regular men, or are they talking about the people that work there? Because
like single men.
You sure?
That's what the social media said.
Okay. Well, you let me know if it works, okay? Go ahead and knock some stuff down and ask, listen, I need somebody to fix this for me. And I need this part right here, but I don't know how to put it on.
And that's basically what you got to do. You got to go there looking cute, though. That's probably where I'm going to get lost.
Mm-hmm. Me too, because I'm going to be in some sweatpants like I am now, Like, maybe that's my mistake when I go to Lowe's. I don't know.
We'll try harder.
But you let me know.
We'll try harder. What are we talking about today, sis?
Let's get into our topic. So last week we talked about the questions that people ask and them getting all up in your business. But also over the holiday, I noticed that so many people do the bare minimum when it comes to communicating with others. Like, a lot of times people just kind of expect you to know what they're saying. And, we a text generation, all of us, we just be like, here you go. But I don't know. The conversations I was having, I was just like, what is going on? Why did you expect me to know what you meant when you said that? So it just made me think kind of in general, like, what is the disconnect with communication, right? Like, why are we not understanding? Or maybe I'm misunderstanding. This is a chance for me to step back and look and, try to figure out, am I the problem? Is it me? It might be. I don't know. But we're going to talk about communication styles today, y'all, because I don't know. I don't know if I'm the problem. I don't know if everybody else is the problem. I don't know if it's just a mix. We both just misunderstanding on both ends. I don't know. But that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to dive into communication styles and how they affect how we both provide information and how we receive it. All right?
Okay.
Come on in, sis. Let's talk about it. Okay? I was trying to I don't know what the melody is going to be for that yet.
Talk about it. Talk about it. You got to bring it down. Like, we're for the culture. Talk about it.
Like you whispering to him, like, come on in. You got to talk about it.
Come on, let's talk about it. Come on.
So, let's get into it, shall we?
We shall. Let's talk about, there are 4 communication styles.
Yes, they are. I say, yes, they are. What are they?
They are passive, aggressive, passive-aggressive, and assertive.
Ooh. So let's talk about passive communicators, shall we?
Yes.
According to Involved Psychology, a passive communication style is focused on the needs of the other rather than the needs of the person communicating. This communication style is driven by the desire to please others and avoid conflict. And the passive communicator often acts indifferently or submits to others' desires rather than expressing their thoughts and their feelings. So this is basically the people pleaser. They're not very good at telling you what's on their mind, or they think that you're not gonna want to hear it probably. So let's talk about the traits. They struggle to take responsibility for decisions. The passive communicator will agree to do what others want without any questions. No drawbacks, no pushbacks, no nothing. They just like, huh?
That is so not me.
No. I feel like, well, we'll talk about that later. But they avoid confrontation. They speak softly and very apologetic. Like I said, they don't express feelings and they speak indirectly or they don't speak up at all. So the passive communicator says, oh, I should just keep the peace. I shouldn't say what I really think or feel. And you are more important than me. Now, the people on the receiving end will feel frustrated and confused about what the passive communicator wants. And as a result, they could take advantage of them and just manipulate them to do what they want them to do.
That is definitely neither one of us.
No, not at all.
So then you have, on the opposite end of the spectrum, you have the aggressive communicator. According to Involved Psychology again, an aggressive communication style is focused on the needs of the person communicating and often disregards the needs of the other person being communicated to. I know a couple of you people. This communication style is often seen as threatening, bossy, or condescending. Aggressive communicator, I'm sorry, y'all. Now I want to be all congested while I think it was the T. Okay. So aggressive communicator traits, they're often closed-minded, often not an effective listener. They interrupt or speaks over the others, puts others down, uses threats or attacks to get what they want. An aggressive communicator will use language like, I'm right, you're wrong. I'll get what I want no matter what. And my needs are more important than yours. And people who are on the receiving end feel defensive, humiliated, hurt or afraid, disrespected, may feel like resorting to fighting back. There's a tussle. May be resistant or defiant. They may alienate the aggressor or become blah, 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 blah. They become compliant but resentful.
Whew. Now we're going to talk about the passive aggressive communicator. So we talked about passive and we talked about aggressive. We're going to put that together, which ain't the best thing, as we will see. So according to Involves Psychology, a passive aggressive communication style appears passive on the surface, but is also characterized by the communicator acting out their needs in indirect ways. So passive-aggressive communicators have difficulty acknowledging and expressing their anger, which leads them to feeling stuck, resentful, and unable to directly address their needs or confront conflict. By using behind-the-scenes ways to deal with feelings of powerlessness, passive-aggressive communicators often sabotage themselves when they confuse others with their unclear intentions. The traits of a passive-aggressive communicator are, they are usually someone whose expressions don't match their emotions. So they might smile while they're angry. Someone who is indirectly aggressive, sarcastic, unreliable, and patronizing. They can be seen as two-faced, spreads rumors, gives the silent treatment, mutters to themselves rather than confronting another person. The passive-aggressive communicator says, I can't say what I really think, but I can show you. And I'll please you, but I'll get you back. And people on the receiving end feel frequently left confused, angry, hurt, or resentful.
I think I owe somebody an apology.
We're going to talk about it. We're going to get to it. So what about the aggressive communicator? Ki?
Assertive?
Assertive. I'm sorry.
It's okay. So our last communication style is assertive. And an assertive communication style is widely accepted as the most effective communication style as it focuses on the needs of both the person communicating and the person they're communicating with. Assertive communicators value themselves, their time, their rights and needs, as well as those of others. The motivation behind the assertive communicator is to express their own needs or desires while also respecting the needs and desires of the other person. So some assertive communicator traits: straightforward in expressing their opinion and advocate for their rights without compromising the rights of anyone else's. Someone who states facts without labels or judgments. Someone who expresses themselves directly and honestly. Someone who checks on others' understandings and interpretations. Someone who is confident, calm, firm, fair, consistent, and attentive. And someone who is open to criticism, negotiation, or bargaining. People who are on the receiving end feel that they often can trust the assertive communicator at their word, that they know where they stand, and that they have been listened to, considered, or respected.
So those are the 4 communication styles. So we have talked about the 4 communication styles. I just wanted to ask a question to both of us. So, what communication style do you identify with?
You want to go first?
I can.
Go for it.
So,
I want to be considerate of your. Hold on. I want to be considerate of your rights and needs.
all right. So, I feel like I've gone through all of them, which I'm sure all of us have a little bit of all of them in us. When I was younger, I was very quiet. So a lot of times I would not say how I would feel. So I would lean to more towards being more passive, and more passive aggressive, which I still do right now, but that's usually when somebody pisses me off. But when I was younger, I was probably more passive. Now that I'm older and I talk a lot more and I actually am more comfortable in expressing my opinions, expressing my feelings, I don't think I'm passive at all. Um, and I think I'm not gonna say I'm assertive. I think sometimes it may come off aggressive because some people will tell me all the time, like, you know, this came off the wrong way. And I'll be like, I'm sorry. I was just saying. And then I'll have to reword it. So that's why I was saying in the beginning, it could be a misunderstanding between me and whoever I was communicating with, or it could be a misunderstanding on both ends. Like I misunderstood them and they misunderstood me. So just being able to sit back and look at that, I think shows growth. But yeah, now I feel like I'm more assertive, but only in certain areas. Excuse me. The only place that I'm not really assertive is at work. And that's just because of the environment that I have endured over the past few years that I've been there. So like I'm just to the point where I don't really care to speak up because every time I spoke up before, it was always shut down and there was no conversation on why. So that's the only place that I'm not really assertive, but everywhere else, I'll tell you what I feel. I'll tell you I'll tell you what you need to know. Like I don't have a problem with it. Sometimes I might have to reword things or think about how I need to say it to certain people, but for the most part, I think I'm more assertive now than I was when I was younger. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Um, as far as what communication styles I identify with, I actually identify with them all, even the passive one. But it depends on with whom I'm speaking. So I can be very passive with that one guy. I can be passive with him, especially because he likes to argue and I don't. So a lot of times it is a lot of whatever you say.
Yeah.
Aggressive. Go ahead and test me. On the chart, you begin to fuck around, and that's gonna cause me to be more aggressive in my communication. Passive aggressive. So here's the thing about me and passive aggressive. I recognize I probably come off as passive aggressive way more than I'm comfortable, but that's because a few things. One, I'm naturally sarcastic. So a lot of people may think or see that and see, oh, because I do it a lot on this podcast, I've noticed. I'm just naturally sarcastic. But for some that don't know me, you may know me and think that I'm passive aggressive. Another one was mutters to themselves. I do that a lot here. I'm not being passive aggressive, y'all. Okay, maybe I am in those moments. Yeah. But a lot of the passive aggressive traits, like spreads rumors, two-faced. I'm not two-faced. I'm probably one of the most honest people you're gonna get Probably don't come to me if you actually want to know the truth about something. Because I'm going to tell you. Because that's when more naturally, especially in situations where, like if I'm comfortable, trust and believe you finna get the assertive Nakia, especially on my job. Like in contrast to what you were saying, I'm very assertive on my job, probably annoyingly so. Yeah, I'm pretty assertive on my job. And so that's interesting because your next thing says, do people confuse aggressive with assertive when it comes to talking to Black women? And I promise you, I get that often.
I get that a lot on my job. I've said it before, I am the only Black woman in the office now. It wasn't always that way, but even when there was more than one, it was only two of us. So everything that we do and say is always under scrutiny. Like people just kind of look at it like, oh, she's mad. And it's kind of a thing. And I really don't say anything anymore because it gets on my nerves and I feel like I'm saying the same thing over and over again when I try to correct people because they're like, oh, she's mad or she's having a bad day. No, I'm not. You're just not speaking to me. You didn't ask me if I'm having a bad day. You didn't ask me if I was in a bad mood. I just have a very bad, well, not bad. I have a resting bitch face and I know that. So if you're not talking to me and you don't know what I feel, I don't like when people try to speak for me. So a lot of times they'll take it the wrong way and not ask. Some people have gotten better over the years about asking me. Some people know me like, she good. She just don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
But I put that question in there because I feel like that's the story for a lot of Black women, not only at work, but in general. Because most people will say, or even men will be like, well, she's really aggressive. No, she's very assertive, and you don't like assertive women.
Right. I had a situation on my job recently where I think I've expressed before, my entire team is women of color, Latino or Latin and African American women. That's my team, right? Well, some of the other teams that we have to interact with, one team in particular is mostly white women. And then it's funny because this particular incident, there was two women of color on the call. One was pretty silent, didn't have anything to say. And then the other woman of color, she became the mouthpiece as me and my team, we wanted to get some stuff across. So we were being confident, calm, firm, right? We were confident, calm, and firm. We were.
Right.
But the team of white women, it actually got reported back to my supervisor. Well, she's not my direct supervisor, but one of our supervisors. It got reported back that we were being aggressive.
See?
There's aggressive. Sorry.
And that's the exact reason why I put this question up here, because I was like, I know that this is what we deal with all the time. Like, you're probably speaking like you're speaking now. That's probably what y'all were doing. And
I was even calmer because I didn't want to come off aggressive. So I slowed my speech down. I was making sure I was articulating, took out the slang, because y'all know I'll throw some slang in a minute, but I took out the slang. I was calm. I was articulating. But yet we got reported as being aggressive. And we apparently ganged up on the Black woman that was speaking.
Oh my goodness. Did they cry? Oh my goodness. Like, that's all they needed.
Must have been some tears. But I just found that funny. I thought it was a perfect thing because literally we were trying to get a point across that they just weren't connecting with. And yeah, it was hilarious because I recognized that it needed to be, because first it was we were all kind of being passive and like, well, yeah, we just don't think. My colleagues were speaking. I was, I think, eating my lunch or something, so I wasn't really speaking. But my colleagues were speaking, my team. And, first the conversation started off, well, yeah, because let me just give some backstory. We're supposed to be the subject matter experts on the subject that we were talking about.
Right.
They are supposed to put out what we say, or they come to us to get our opinion because we are the subject matter experts, right? Well, so they come and yap, 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 yap. And we're like, we don't think that maybe that's a good idea. Well, we think, da, 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 da. They just wanted to keep going. And we're just like, yep, no, that's not, we don't think that's a great idea. So eventually I came in and I was like I said, confident, calm, and firm.
I believe you.
Said the things I had to say. So then here comes the savior on the other team. She comes with her confidence and firmness and calmness. And then it's funny because, she eventually gets caught slipping because we were finally at one point just like, I'm sorry, did you say that you couldn't do what we were asking you guys to do? She's like, yeah, we can't do it. And I was like, okay, great, thank you. And all of us fell back because that's really, can you do it or can you not? All of us fell back. And then that's when the next thing you know, we got sent to the principal's office.
That is so funny and interesting, but I mean, not surprising, but I'm glad you came with that story. It's ridiculous. Why? Most of the time, women are just, we are, like you said, confident and calm, and it still comes off as being
and firm. Don't forget
firm. Firm. We are confident, calm, and firm, and then that firmness probably is what makes people uncomfortable and like, oh my goodness, why are you being so aggressive towards me? No, I'm asking a question for clarity.
If I'm here to advocate on someone's behalf, I'm going to be firm. If I'm advocating on somebody's behalf, you're probably not going to be able to easily, it's not about even changing my mind at this point. If I'm advocating for somebody else, you can say what you have to say and I can say what I have to say and we can meet somewhere in the middle. We meet in the middle, but that does not mean that my opinion is going to change when I'm advocating for someone else. And so you can go ahead and tell all the principals you want to tell and all your bosses and all that other stuff. But meanwhile, I'm over here advocating confidently, calmly, and firmly.
Maybe that should be the name of the episode. But yeah, I was gonna say when you were talking about passive aggressive too, I guess that's why it comes off that way with me too, because I'm very sarcastic and I can be. Even when I'm very serious, sometimes my statements come off very sarcastically.
You get me quite often. I'll be like,
you're not the only one, because I'm like, I'm just asking a question. Like, if I didn't want to talk to you, I wouldn't be talking to you. Trust and believe.
And that part I know. So that's why I'd be like, oh, I think we're okay. But
like I said, when I came on this podcast today and I was like, I don't have any energy. That's all. I'm not in a bad mood. I just don't have any energy. Like I'm just tired. That's all. Not that I'm not going to contribute to a conversation. I'm not going to act like, you annoy me or I'm annoyed. And I'm just, that's just me. I don't know. I'm trying to turn it off. I try to, y'all. It don't be working sometimes.
I get it. But with that said, Kiki, are there ways that we can improve our communication?
I want to add one more thing too before we move on.
Okay.
So I talked about my grandma passed away this August. My grandma was a very assertive woman.
She was an Aries.
She was a very assertive woman and very a lot of people did not like her because she was assertive, because she spoke her mind and basically, just like they said, where she stood with you. And she'll still talk to you, but she's gonna tell you what's on her mind, and she's gonna tell you if you ain't doing something right, she's gonna tell you. If you need to change something and she don't like it, like if y'all want to still be friends, you better change it or she's gonna be done with you. She was a very assertive woman, but a lot of people I think took that as aggressive, and she wasn't aggressive. She was just very honest and blunt.
She was an Aries.
She was an Aries, and a lot of her traits I have inherited.
This actually explains so much.
What do you mean by that, Ki?
Hold on. Being consistent and fair in what I'm about to say, meaning I recognize those similar traits in you because I have them, and I feel that they are, I feel, not facts, I feel that those are Aries traits because that's fair and consistent. But I also recognize your Cancer traits. I felt that was also attentive. Like,
that was attentive of both the communicator and the communicatee, I guess.
I'm working, girl. I'm working.
All right, so now we can move forward. I just wanted to add that in because I felt like this was that question of, are Black women considered aggressive or assertive, really applied to her because she was very, very assertive.
So Kiki, since we're on the subject of improving communication, what can you do to improve your communication?
All right, so according to an article I found by Alvernia University, understanding how others communicate can be key to getting your message across to them. So in order to develop a more assertive communication style, here are a few tips that you can keep in mind. First, take ownership. So use I statements. I guess this avoids the passive aggressive. Like you said, instead of I think, or something like that. Next, maintain eye contact. Ooh, that's gonna make some people uncomfortable. For the people on the podcast, we just had a staring contest. And then learn to say no, which is one of my saving graces over the past few years. Woo, girl, I have learned to say no in a quick second.
No.
And finally, voice your needs and desires confidently. What's the 3 words, Ki?
Confident, calm, firm.
There we go.
I just want to make a comment about I statements. So some people overdo them to death.
Mm-hmm.
But like when I was telling Ki that I could see some of those things, like you really want to emphasize what I will say is, especially if you're having a heated conversation. I promise you I'm showing somebody this podcast. But when we are having a heated conversation, I tend to tell him, I'll be like, well, I feel this way. Because we've established that feelings aren't always facts. Mm-hmm. Or feelings, the facts that we hear in those feelings end up being mine and not yours. Mm-hmm. So using statements like I feel or I think, and how that sounds different, right? When Kiki asked me, well, what do you mean, right? It's way different if I'd be like, well, you be acting like an Aries, but you also be acting like a Cancer. That's way different from when I said, I feel and I recognize mm-hmm. your Aries traits, but I can also sense your Cancer traits, because that puts it all back on me. So like if you have any misintent about what I said, recognize that those came from my emotional place, not my logical place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or simply, I think I misunderstood what you were saying. I took it as you saying this, but did you mean this, or what did you mean? And give that person a chance to clarify what they were saying.
Yeah,
and
that's something that I know I need to be better about. But y'all, like when it comes to effective communication, I don't care who you were talking to, but it's not just about what was said, it's about how it was received. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter. You could have meant, this is where intention, mm-hmm. you could have the best intentions, but if I heard it through my hurt ears, then I'm gonna be hurt.
Right.
And I think that we need to be a little bit more, I'm going to say it, we need to be more confident in who we are and our emotions. And so when you hear something that does offend you, you know, if for whatever reason it was a trigger, it was you're having a bad day. I don't know. But if you get triggered by something that someone says, or you feel like, well, damn, why's she coming for me? Instead of coming from that defensive place, do exactly what Kiki said. I'm sorry, I may have misunderstood you, but I felt that you said that like this, or I feel that da 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 da. And then, yes, you're going to now have to have two conversations because you got to clear up something and you got to communicate what was initially supposed to be said. But you get to have clear communication on this end instead of you walking away being like, that heifer, because all I did was, and then you know, it gets into all I did was try to ask her how was her day. But here she come with the, and all of that gets alleviated.
Oh, so a few more points before we wrap this up. So according to another article by Princeton University, like Ki said before, most of us don't use a single communication style in every interaction. They're simply tools that you can use to communicate. All right. So that's why she can identify with all communication styles. That's why I can identify with multiple communication styles, because we use it in different ways, or we use it in different conversations when there's different context and nuance. So in general, assertive is most likely the wait. In general, assertive communication is most likely to lead to respectful and longer term relationships. So that is the style that we strive for in most situations. However, passive and aggressive communication might work better in some occasions. For example, if you are feeling fearful that you are about to be harmed, passive communication may help to diffuse the situation, and aggressive communication might prevent the problem from getting worse. You want to say something?
Should it be passive might prevent it from being worse, or aggressive?
I guess it depends on the situation. So if you think you're going to be harmed and you can back up what you say, then yeah, aggressive communication will be like, look, you sit your ass down somewhere.
Fuck around and find out.
Or if you think that you're being harmed and you cannot calm down the aggressor, then passive communication is probably going to be best for you in that moment. That's how I took it.
Okay.
And last, while the passive communication style can be helpful, when people pair it with subtle aggression, the passive aggressive style is likely to interfere with or undermine healthy relationships.
I swear I gotta make a phone apology.
You can do it, sis. I'm cheering you on. I have learned in the past few years how to step back and say that exact statement that I said. Like, I think I misunderstood what you said. Say what?
I need to work on that one.
I've learned that because first of all, I'm a Cancer. I'm emotionally driven. So like, I will go off on you based on emotion instead of based on fact. So I have to step back and be like, what did you mean? Instead of, you said that you, and throwing up my finger and rolling my neck and all that stuff.
Yeah. I'm an Aries. I don't really know if I need to explain what that means. But just in case. Yeah, it's something that I feel I've gotten better about in terms of communicating. And I'm gonna go ahead and go into our next segment about how to use self-care in real life. I tell everybody my yoga story. I didn't get into, and I don't stay in yoga just because I think that the yoga moves are cool. They're not. I don't like but about half of them. And I only know about 2/3 of them in the world. There are still other yoga moves that I'm still finding out. I don't think yoga is the coolest. I don't even think it's the most comfortable, but I do yoga so I can focus on me, so that I can go within and I can get myself right. I've learned so much more about myself since practicing yoga, and I encourage y'all to do the same. Also, you got 2 amazing instructors who are willing to do privates, teach classes, all that other stuff. Shameless plug. But anyway, when you learn more about yourself, when you spend time with yourself, whether it be in child's pose, in frog pose, or whether it be in meditation, when you're spending more time with yourself, you begin to learn, or you begin to focus and hone in more on your needs, right? And if no one can express their needs, your needs, it needs to be you, right? If I can't express my needs, then my needs aren't going to get met. And so learning how to communicate for yourself and be a self-advocate is probably the most important thing. And you need to learn to, I am a proponent of, trying to work in all of these lanes. And so like, if I go to my doctor, I can't go to my doctor and be like, look, I need this, right? Unless I've asked this help a couple different times and she said no. Like, I'm about to ask about a diet pill because the stomach just won't. Anyway, I might have to get aggressive.
No,
but
Stephanie said be respectful.
Huh?
Stephanie said be respectful.
Okay. Stephanie had said, our friend to the show and nurse practitioner, she said be respectful when you go to the doctor. Respectful was what? Assertive. Right. So go into your doctor and be assertive, but you can't go to your doctor necessarily and be passive. You can't go to the doctor and be like, well, because I think I'm having heart palpitations. Because they're going to be like, you think? Because, all of us are from Google University, and, we find out things, and they don't actually at all be the things, right? Mm-hmm. But you need to go to your doctor and be assertive. However, when you're dealing with your partner, it's not always best to be aggressive, probably, or assertive. Sometimes they want you to be soft.
That's a whole different conversation. I don't even want to talk about that today. No.
Learn how to communicate for self-advocacy. And I'm going to leave the rest alone because Kiki, she's already on a short fuse.
No, I just wanted to add on to what you said about yoga building basically awareness, which is what I talk about in all of my content and all of my classes. Building awareness helps you to know your body. So physically, you can go to the doctor and be like, listen, I don't know what's going on right here. It's a pain in my side and it won't go away. And it's striking, it hurts. We need to look into this. Also noticing just changes in your mental health and your emotions, what is causing these things, like, is you. Okay. Are certain things that you're eating causing changes in your emotions or changes in your stress levels? What is causing your stress? What are you doing different that is making you even more anxious than before? These are the things that you find out when you are actually building awareness in your body and in your mind, right? So it's the same thing with communication. Building awareness of how you react to things or how you perceive things can help you to improve your own communication based on these styles. So sit with yourself, girl. Sit with yourself. I know y'all afraid of meditation and all that stuff. Sit with yourself for a while.
All right, so listen, we finna go because we want you to sit with yourself. So we go. We need you to tell a friend, share the. I don't even want you to tell a friend to tell a friend. We just want you to tell one friend. Mm-hmm. Let's just go back to the basics. Okay. It's the holidays and stuff like that. Tell a friend. But better yet, all of us are getting together for these little events and girls' nights and Friendsgivings and Friends Christmas and stuff. Why don't y'all play the podcast? Because I'm just saying, especially this one, because I guarantee you are beefing with one of them girls in your friend group. She done got on your nerves, and her passive aggressive ass. You know what? Why don't y'all have this? Why don't y'all have communication styles conversation? Go on and play it.
All you gotta do is look at that group chat, because I guarantee you, it's one person in that group chat that you cannot stand.
One person in the group chat is being passive. One person in the group chat is being aggressive, and one person is being passive aggressive, and one person just isn't saying anything.
See, this is why I avoid group chats. But anyway,
I mean, sometimes they're necessary. But like, I got one group chat. Yeah. Sometimes they're necessary. But listen, go on and be aggressive and put this in your group chat.
Aggressive. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. You the cheerleader over there. I'm just here. So, like he said, y'all gonna share this podcast with your circle, with your people. Tell your friend. Tell a friend. That's not too hard, y'all. We told y'all tell a friend. I know that's a lot. So tell your friend, and then like, subscribe, comment, all that stuff. Rate and review. Ain't nothing new here. And when we post on social, y'all go ahead and talk to us, because we like talking to y'all.
It's Christmas. Can we get a review?
I know. That's all we want for Christmas is a review. The 5-star review, and just say, we love listening to our homegirls, Ki and Kiki.
Okay, we both need to go now, because I didn't recognize the error in that initially. So that I need to go too. Go on and go. Ki Kiki, I love you, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. And don't let them crazy people at your job stress you out. It's Christmas. We've been stressed out all year. Damn that.
I'm not gonna be stressed out because I only got 12 days this month, so that's it. I want you to take care of yourself and don't get sick again.
Listen, I'm trying not to get sick no more. Y'all pray for my sleep, because my sleep is all off since I've been sleeping during the day. Yeah, my nights I be lit. I be up. So y'all pray that your girl can get back on schedule this week, because it's gonna be a hard knock life trying to get to the office in Raleigh at 8 a.m.
I'm so sorry. So sorry you have to do that. I mean, I got to do it too, but I've been doing it.
I got to go in a deep prayer before Thursday. So anyway, y'all pray for your girl. I'm going to go. Mm-hmm.
All right. We will see y'all. Talk to y'all next week. Bye. Peace.
Bye.